الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم ولا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم. Welcome again to Sunnah Spiritual Healing. And now, how to do your treatment. You have prepared your products yourself, or you have received your treatment kit. Your treatment kit has a paper of Quran with dilutable and natural ink, and your bottle of oil, and your incense, and your Sunnah. So if you have received your kit, or if you have prepared yourself, the first step is to prepare your water. So you prepare 25 liters of water in a container. Now that is what you need for yourself, but you can prepare much more. Actually, the reading of Quran is good for 200 liters. So you can read on 200 liters. And the paper of Quran that you receive, now the paper of Quran contains the additional verses for 45 different types of sihr and contains the basic verses to make your Quran water. So that paper is good enough to prepare the 25 liters you will use for yourself. But if you read yourself on the water those essential verses, Fatiha, Ayatul Kursi, Ikhlas, Falaq, Nas, and verses of Musa alayhi salam 11 times, now that paper will be enough for 200 liters. So because you might need to repeat the treatment again, and because your family or other people can also benefit from this treatment, and because you might need additional water that you use to drink or to cook or to spray your workplace and your vehicles and your house, so you might as well prepare a maximum of water with this, with your paper. So the first step is to prepare your water. You get your water. Now you put that paper inside. It will dilute in a few minutes. You can leave it half an hour until writing has disappeared. And then you remove that paper, let it dry and burn it. Well, there's no more Quran, but we prefer to avoid putting it in the rubbish in the dustbin. Now that water is ready. If you read yourself on the water, the more you read, the better it will be. If you have prepared your treatment yourself, those basic verses as the Ruqya, if you have followed the verses of the Ruqya I read, or if you have read yourself those essential verses plus other verses of Quran, so the Ruqya is read on the water in the same time on the oil and in the incense. But you need to add the additional verses for the specific types of sorcery that you have. And there are 45 verses, but of course each person does not have all 45 types of sihr. You may have 3, 5, 10, maybe 15 if you have a lot of symptoms. So you need to pick out those verses and add them. So to add the verses, you have many options. Option 1, read them on the water. You read them 11 times. So you take the verse that goes with each symptom of yours and you read those verses 11 times on the water. You get this in my book. And the second way is to write them and dilute them in the water. So if you are going to write them, you need to have some natural edible ink. So you can just buy food coloring in the supermarket where you prepare the cakes. So you have some food coloring and you use it to write with a stick, or you can have an ink pen and you empty the ink cartridge and you put the food coloring instead, and now you have your ink pen writing with food coloring. So that is, or you can use the traditional ways in madrasa, in Quranic schools, uh, where they have some natural black ink that they use to write the Quran and dilute it again and again, if you have that option. So you can write those same verses once each and dilute them in your water. Now, the third option is to have yourself the printer to print your Quranic sheets. So you can buy a special printer that prints with edible ink and buy the special edible ink that goes with that printer. You just have to write it on internet and you will find how to buy it. Or you can buy any printer that has ink cartridges, not powder, that works with ink cartridges, and you empty the cartridge and you fill it with an injection with the food coloring ink that you buy in supermarket in cake preparation, and you print with it. So that will work. That will give you, inshallah, beautiful pages of verses of Quran with printed with food coloring. But you must know that that ink is not compatible with the printer. So your printer might break down, and if you stop printing, maybe another time you cannot print anymore. So if you do that, prepare a maximum of papers, like 1,000 or 5,000 papers, sheets of paper, and the ink, and you print them all, and don't leave any ink in the cartridge. So you print until the cartridge is empty, and that way you hope to use your printer again. So you do this 1,000 or more paper sheets, so that if your printer breaks down, alhamdulillah, you have used it enough and you have made enough sheets of paper for a long time. So that is if you are preparing your treatment yourself and you need to add the additional verses that concern your case. Now, if you are going to read or write, you need to know which are the verses you need for yourself. But if you are going to print, you might as well print all the 45 verses of Quran, and that will cover, inshallah, all the different types of sihr. So once you have this water, now the treatment, you're going to bath with the water every night. The best time is after Maghrib, after 7, let's say, because Maghrib time changes from country to country. So around 7, the best time is from 7 to midnight. Now, if it is not possible or very difficult, you can bath anytime, but that is the best time. So to bath, you take 1.5 liters, at least 1 liter, and 1.5 liters is best. You can warm it if you want. You can warm it in the boiler or over the fire, or you can just put the bottle on the heater and let it heat, or you can take it cold as you prefer, and then you empty it on all your body. You can take a shower before, you can use shampoo and soap, and then you rinse yourself with this Quranic water. So you can do this, of course, in the bath or in the shower, but you should try not to let the water go in the sink, because it has Quran, and to avoid to harm the non-Muslim jinns that are in the drains. Now, this is not an obligation, and in Islam, there's no rule that comes in hadith concerning Quranic water. So this is why Mufti bin Baz, rahimahullah, has said that there is no problem of letting the Quranic water go in the drain. But we know by experience that it can burn the non-Muslim jinns that are there, and they could take revenge on the person who did it. But as a respect for the Quran, we should avoid to do it. So you should put a basin and wash in the basin, and then throw that water outside in a clean place. You can also put a towel and then put the towel to dry, and you can also close the tub, close the sink, and then pump out the water. Now, if it is too difficult for you to collect the water according to your situation at a point that you will stop doing the treatment because it is a problem for you to collect the water, so let it go and just say Bismillah to avoid to harm those bad jinns, and let it go if you have no other option. As I have explained, there is nothing haram related to this in Islam. Now, you wash with the water, you let it touch all your body. Now, if you have a specific problem in your body, you can collect the water in a basin and continue washing that part of your body with that water for a few minutes. For example, if you have pain in your legs or in your head, anything that if you have skin problem in your hand, for example, so you keep washing your hand or your legs or your head with that water for another 10 minutes and reading Quran while you are washing it and rubbing it with the water. So this will help if you have any specific problem in your body. Now you finish washing with the water, you dry your body normally, and then you use the oil. So the oil is to rub on all your body, and you might as well read Fatiha or any part of Quran while you rub. Now again, if you have a specific problem in any part of your body, you can rub that part with oil and read Fatiha 7 times, 11 times, again and again, 7 times on the head, on the back, on the legs, on the ovaries, or on any part of your body where you have a problem. Now, in the procedure of the treatment, we use hijama, we use the cupping to remove the magic that is inside the body. So, normally, we do the cupping for any problem, any physical problem, except the tummy problem, for which we use Sunnah to remove the eating sihr. But even if your tummy, if you have a specific pain somewhere, or you have something beating like a heartbeat in your tummy, or you have used Sunnah many times and your problem is not finishing, so we will also do hijama on your tummy to help remove the sihr. Now, so if you have physical problems and you did not do hijama because you couldn't, so you should rub each of those parts of your body and read Fatiha 11 times on your head, your chest, your tummy, your back, on any place where you have a problem. You will do this every night. So that is the oil. You rub all your body and insist on the places where you have a problem. After that, you will put the incense. So for the incense, you put a large cloth, a jalaba, over you, or you can just put a sheet, and you put without underclothes, and you light the incense. You put it under you. You keep it for about 10 minutes. If you have a problem with lover jinn that you see having relations with you in your dream, or your problem is related to having relations with your wife or husband, or to having pregnancy, so you will just attach a wrapper on your waist and you put that incense under the wrapper, so the effect of the incense will concentrate on your private parts for about 10 minutes. Now this is what you're going to do every night for 12 days or more. Bathing, after that the oil, and after that the incense. And the Sunnah is to be drunk in the morning. So every morning on empty stomach, you boil half a liter of Sunnah, of water, of Quranic water, with 1 big spoon of Sunnah, and you drink it on empty stomach. So this will empty everything in your tummy after about 5 hours. Now it depends on each person. So the first time you take it, it is better that you stay at home, that you don't, it is a day you don't work and you stay at home, so you can see how it will do to you. And after that, you can choose that you can do it while you work, or you better only do it if you don't work. And it empties everything in your tummy, and if there is sihr, it pulls it out and gives you pain. As if you have glue on your skin and you are pulling it out. So if it gives you pain, it is normal. Sometimes the pain is very big, and sometimes the pain is like giving birth. So all that is your magic coming out. It is not the Sunnah that is harming your body. And because the stomach or the intestines are already harmed by the magic, it could give some bleeding, but that is because the sihr is already on a part that is very affected. So when you pull it out, it gives you some bleeding. So anyway, you have to continue the Sunnah until it gives you no more disturbance. Now the sihr that you have eaten can have different effects on your body, on all your organs, on your mental, because it gives anger, it gives depression, etc. So the Sunnah can give you very different types of effects. So all that has to be gone, and it will only give you diarrhea, because it always gives diarrhea. So you continue the Sunnah until all that is gone. But if the taking of Sunnah is too painful or too hard, you can reduce the quantity, that half liter with 1 big spoon. Instead of drinking it on empty stomach, you can drink half, and next day half. You can share it in 3. You can take some days and stop some days, but you have to continue anyway until it gives you no effect. We use Sunnah for pregnant women without problem, and the Sunnah is important for pregnant women so that the baby will not be affected by the sihr of the mother. Now, even for a baby that is born, the mother can take Sunnah, and the baby will take it in the milk, and that will clean the baby, but that will give him diarrhea. So make sure you give him water to drink so he doesn't dehydrate. Now, if the baby is not breastfeeding, you can give him the Sunnah in a feeder. And if he is big, children can take the Sunnah in small quantities. It is very important for children, because if a lady has sihr, there is about 50% of chances that it will affect her children. That makes the children to be weak in their health and to be rebel in their character. So they are difficult to educate, and taking the Sunnah for 4 to 6 days will remove, inshallah, that problem and make your children better. So that is how to use your treatment. Now you can do more if you want. You can bath twice a day or 3 times a day. You can take the oil. You can use the oil many times a day. If you have, for example, a headache problem or pain or a rash, skin problem, you can use that oil many times a day. You rub any part where you have a problem and read Quran. And now, as I said, when you can also read Quran on many other things like honey, like black seed oil, like kuhl, surma, that you put, the black powder you put in the eyes, any cream you use, and all that will help. If you have an illness where you have some medicine that the doctor gave you, you can read on that medicine if it is liquid or cream, or you can use it with Quranic water if it is tablets or powder. The last point is the treatment of the house. You will spray all your house with the same water that you use to bath and to drink the Sunnah. So you put it in a sprayer, or you do it with your hand, and you spray all the surface, the walls, the roof, the ground, the doors, the windows, outside the doors and windows, the entrances to the house. It is not enough to do the corners. And you do this in the beginning of the treatment and repeat it again in the end. If the problem of the house is more severe, you can spray more times, you can spray every day, and you can also read the Quran on the house cleaning products, so that you will wash the ground, the windows, the wood, any part you want, with the cleaning product that has Quran in it. You do the same thing with your vehicles. If you have a problem with your vehicles on your workplace, the office, or the shop, or the factory, and if you feel there are some problems relating to your work. May Allah Ta'ala help us and cure you all and bless us. Ya Allah, cure us with your words and with the sunnah of your Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.